Hello everyone. Today our topic is about integration by the central nervous system. The objectives for this lesson to understand that central nervous system integrates and coordinates the responses of the body. Firstly, we should know the meaning of the word integration. Integration or integrate. The meaning of the word integration is connecting things together in order to do a specific job or a specific function. The central nervous system, CNS, processes information from receptors and passes instructions to effectors to tell the organism how to respond. So, as you can see here, what happened? A receptor, it receives signal to CNS. So CNS here, it does what? It processes this information and send it to effector. So the effector, it will respond. So here, this complex series operations referred to as integration. Here again, the meaning of the word integration, it's what? It's connecting things together in order to do a specific function or a specific job. So the receptor, effector, this will be connected together to respond in a specific way by the help of what? By the help of CNS. If you look at this diagram, here it shows the integration. Here it shows the process of integration, or it shows how CNS, it connect things together, combine things together to do a specific function. Firstly, CNS or central nervous system, as we mentioned before, we said it consists of what? It consists of number one, which is brain, okay, and number two, which is spinal cord. So this is the first part, brain, and this is the second part, spinal cord. The process, how it happened, as we explained before, a stimulus, then we will have sense organ, example, let's say eye, okay, or skin. Then this stimulus will stimulate the sense organ. Then this sense organ through sensory neuron will send impulse to central nervous system. Central nervous system will give an order through motor neuron to the effector, which is organ, and this organ will respond. This is the main diagram, okay? The diagram that it shows the process of reflex action. Now, let's take an example. Sense organ, example, eyes, okay? Stimulus for eyes, it's light. So sense organ send information about the organism's environment to the CNS. Then the CNS, what? It will process this information and it will send a order or message through the motor neuron to the effector, and the effector will respond in a proper way. The actions that our body will take it, they are two types. We have two types of actions. It's either the action is voluntary or involuntary. Voluntary, it means you can control it. Okay, a decision, it comes from the brain to the body organ. But here, involuntary actions, it happen, do not involve any conscious decision by the brain. It means it's just happening by itself automatically. You are not deciding how it will happen or when it will happen. Now, we will take some examples of voluntary actions and involuntary action. Firstly, effectors in the head can bring about a response. For example, eyelids may blink. Okay, if there will be a light on your eyes, what will happen? The action here, it will be your eyelids may blink. Okay, reflexes that use the brain as a relay center without conscious involvement are cranial reflexes. Now, here we will have some examples of reflexes. Okay, we should know the definition of each one. For example, we have cranial reflexes. Okay, by the way, cranial, it means like a skull, so it's referred to the brain. So a reflex that uses the brain as a relay center without conscious involvement are called cranial reflexes. So now, cranial reflexes, it uses brain as relay center, and they are what? They are conscious. They are without conscious involvement. Then, another example of reflex, we call it learned reflexes. Learned reflexes, if we want to give a definition for learned reflexes, we will say learned reflexes are reflexes that do not require the higher center used for conscious or voluntary responses. What's that mean? Learned, from the name learned, it means you will do it once and then it will keep repeating by itself. How? Let's take an example. You are riding a bike. Okay, if you want to ride the bike or to move the bike, firstly, an order it comes from your brain to your leg muscles to move the bike pedals. Okay, but once you will do this order, once your muscles will start moving, okay, then you will see the muscles are just moving by themselves. Okay, what happened here? It's a learned reflexes. Okay, this kind of reflexes, which part of the brain is responsible for it? It's this part, the lower, through the lower region of the brain. Okay, many learned reflexes operate through lower regions of the brain. These often need to be set off by a stimulus from a higher region, but once started, always led to the same response. Again, as we say, once you will start riding a bike, there should be an action, there should be an order from brain to leg muscles to move the bike. But once you do this action, then this action will keep repeating itself. Okay, it's like you don't need to keep thinking about it. Done. You will just think about it one time and then it will just keep repeating itself. This kind of reflexes, they are involuntary. It means it's just happening by itself. Then, autonomic nervous system. From the name auto, it means something, it's happening by itself. Okay, autonomic nervous system, what do you mean by autonomic nervous system? Is the part of the nervous that supplies the internal organs such as stomach, intestine, liver and kidney and the rest of organs. Again, what do you mean by autonomic nervous system? Is the part of the nervous system that supplies the internal organ. Focus on these two words, the internal organs. Example, stomach, intestine, liver and kidney. Another example here, for example, you have breathing. Breathing, the process of breathing, you don't control it, you don't need to think about it, it's happening just by itself. Okay, how it's happening by itself? It's happening because of the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system, it's controlling it. Then another example of reflex, we called it spinal reflex. Okay, a reflex that uses relay neurons in the spine cord is a spinal reflexes. Example, withdrawing the hand from a hot object. As we explained before, it's like when you touch something hot, directly you will pull your hand. Or this action, it's happening. Who's controlling this action? It's the spinal cord. Okay, a nerve from spinal cord, it's responsible for this action. So this kind of actions, we call it a spinal reflex. And here we have also another example of effectors that are controlled by the central nervous system. Involuntary actions and voluntary actions. The main difference between these two actions, it's what? Involuntary actions, we said, are the actions that it happened automatically. It happened by itself. It happened by autonomic nervous system. Okay. Example, we said like breathing. Okay. So reflexes concerned with the housekeeping tasks of the body, such as breathing, do not reach the conscious level of the brain. Now, the main difference between them is what? In involuntary actions, the actions do not reach the conscious level of the brain. Here, it's conscious. Okay, it happened by like an order that comes from the brain. Here, you cannot control it. Here, you can control it. One more thing, involuntary actions, it gives the same response, okay, but here not always. Voluntary actions, some information about voluntary actions. During evolution, the front of the spinal cord became highly developed to form the brain. It means, for example, during the evolution, at the beginning, for example, there was no brain, okay, but it was just the front of the spinal cord. But in human, the front spinal cord part, it highly developed and it formed the brain. And after forming the brain, the advanced development of the brain, particularly those parts that deal with learning, okay, sets mammals apart from lower animals. Here it means that during the evolution, the front part of the spinal cord, it developed highly. So and this part, it contains parts that are responsible for learning. Okay, that's why, for example, us as mammals, okay, or especially humans, we are apart from the lower animals. What does that mean? It means our brain, it developed more than the brain of the other animals. That was everything for this lesson. I hope you got benefit from it. Again, write a comment in the YouTube, and your homework, always don't forget that your homework will be the workbook. Every lesson, when we explain, for example, today we explained 2.49, so you will study 2.49 and also you will do the homework in the workbook. 2.49 in the workbook. Have a good day.